Hello and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. Now, in the last episode we got the advanced sorters done, which meant having to set up an awful lot of stuff because, well, not an awful lot of stuff, but they require the advanced chips and graphene. So yeah, so we've got the advanced chips being made here, and we're going to have to manually bring in... Oh, it looks like we've actually run out already. I was about to say that we need to manually bring in the silicon from the other planet, and that has actually run out already. So we may have to go do that at some point, but it's okay for now. I upgraded some of these machines, like to the level 2 construction stuff. So we've got a level 2 machine making the level 1 machines, making our belts and our sorters. We've still only got a level 1 machine making the actual level 2 machines because this thing requires... Is it more? Yeah. It does actually only require one of them. I may as well do the upgrade on this. Boom. There we go. I think I also put all the manufacturing for the advanced chips to level 2. And we seemed to have been making enough of the green chips, so I've left all the rest of that as is. This music is a little loud compared to the other stuff. I'll turn it down a little bit. I'm still trying to get the audio on stuff sort of sorted. That feels a little bit more like background noise now. Right, so I believe we've got everything at the moment, and I don't think there's any upgrades I can do. All the upgrades require yellow science, which we don't have yet. So if we look at our technologies, in general I've been avoiding doing research because I don't want to have to make the machines to do all the stuff. But there's a few things I can do just easy, like crystal smelting. Better understanding of lattice structure and improved refining technology, you can now use more advanced method to smelt high-strength crystals. So this doesn't give me a new building or anything, it just gives me a new recipe, something I can make out of my graphite. I can make diamonds from the graphite, and that's an alternate recipe for diamonds. And I can make crystal silicon out of silicon. So I may as well do a quick research on that. But in general, I say we just sort of, because there is this path here, the main quest path, so we may as well see what's next on that, and are there any prerequisites that we need to do. So photon frequency conversion. The photon combiner can convert low frequency photons into high frequency, effectively reducing solar energy loss from solar radiation. So this gives me a photon combiner, which is made with prisms and green chips. The surface of the prism is cut into nano gratings and then reassembled. Okay, and that's an alternate recipe for the same thing. So again, this is just opening up a recipe, something that's made in an assembler. We don't know what they're used for yet, so we may as well research that, and then we can go on to the next one. Right, solar sail orbit system. Use the EM rail projector to projectile solar sails will form a Dyson swarm to absorb radiation energy from the star. So this is a way we can get energy from our sun already. Basically, we launch thousands of these solar sails, which are made with graphene and these photon combiners, and then we launch them into space using the EM rail projector. And it looks like the EM rail projector needs those sort of blue engines. Do we have those? Nope, these blue engines are here, and they're made with the green engines. High intensity and stable artificial magnetic fields. It's very difficult but crucial for developing other advanced technologies. Okay, so we will enqueue that as well. and then we'll get our solar sails. But it looks like we're going to have to have a lot more graphene. And prisms and green chips. So, do I... Yeah, I don't really want to leech off this. The production that's here is for them all. And I think if I want anything else, I'm going to want it to be somewhere else. Now, so the way these projectors work is we're going to have an EM rail projector that's going to shoot the solar sails into orbit around the sun. Now, it can obviously only do that if it has line of sight of where the orbit's supposed to be. That can be a little tricky off this planet because we're orbiting that. But we need stuff like graphene in that, so we do have to make it on this planet. I did put a load of solar panels around the north and south poles, by the way. Okay, so we've got coal. That would give us graphite. I'm trying to work out what it is we need. We need to make graphene, which is sulfuric acid. We are making far too much sulfuric acid. We could probably crib off that. That requires a refined oil. And those things need green chips and prisms, which is glass, which is stone. And green chips is just iron and copper. So we have iron. We have some untapped copper there. And oil there. What about around the South Pole? Coal, stone, there's a nice large iron there. Some copper, although I'm tapping some of that, aren't I? Oh, there's like nothing on this part of the planet. Do we want to make this production on a different planet? The problem is that it does need oil. And this is the only place which has any crude oil. I think here is going to be the place to do it. As I said, we want to launch from the poles because they're going to have vision of the necessary parts of the sky most often. We've got some untapped oil here, and I might be able to take the excess oil from the rest of the oil place. We've got 2 bits of copper there, 2 bits of iron there. We've got coal and stone. So that is north of my oil section. Or north of here, anyway. So we'll start by tapping this copper and that iron. And what we want to do is we want to end up making those solar sails. So chips and prisms will make that, the photon combiner. And the oil and sulfuric and graphite will make the graphene we need. So, I'll tap the iron, tap the copper, and get some of the basics of that laid down. Okay, I think I've got the basics down in order to be able to start fabricating these photon combiners. I quickly pop over to the map. Right, we've got... I just tapped one of the copper reserves for now. We'll use the other one if and when we need it. Because I'm using the fast belts, I've put 12 copper smelters down. Over here I've tapped this iron and I've got 12 iron smelters. And here I've tapped the stone and I've not done anything with that quite yet. So, the thing we want to make... is these photon combiners. So it needs prisms and green chips. Prisms are made from glass, glass is made from stone, that's easy enough. And the green chips are just made with iron and copper. So I think we can just sort of get started on that. Let's leave map mode. So here's our stone. So the first thing I want to do is smelt that into glass. So smelting. Now, those belts take 12 items per second, and glass is 2 stone and 2 seconds. So it can take 12 smelters on this. Right, so that's 12. Using build mode there, God mode in building mode with the auto move, which works pretty well. So we want to make glass. Extend the belt a bit. Right, and its output's gonna be there. So now we just need the grabbers. And power for the bits that are blinking. There, but this one will put underneath the belt. Right, so now we should be getting 12 glass a second. So how many prisms can we make? So it's a 2-second process, but it takes 3 glass. Oh, that's annoying. Well, if it needed 3 glass a second, we could do 4 assemblers. We can do 8 assemblers. 8 assemblers making prisms. So, I'm actually going to move myself away from the smelters, because I do not like the rumbly noise that smelters make. So, I will stand over here, and then go back to build mode. Right, so the production speed on Mark IIs is ×1, so it will actually match up, and we can get 8 of these in. There's a limit to how far away you can be. Make sure I start in close enough. Belt needs to go a bit longer. Carry the glass out to the end. Make sure each of these has an arrow pointing in. Okay, so that's all the prisms I need. we are going to want 2 prisms for each green chip. So I think our photon combiner production will be here, though I will have to avoid that copper. I'm going to want room for... see if I'm going to tap that in future. Well, if we just run the belt past, and then there's going to be things making stuff. And it was 2 prisms for each thing. So the prisms are going to run in here. I'll probably trim that back a bit. Alright, so the prisms are going to run up onto that belt. So we want green chips running in this way. Got copper there, iron coming in from there. It needs 2 iron. Right, now here I'm not sure how many of these machines to build. So 1 second processing takes 2 iron. I think we've got enough iron to handle 6 machines. So that's what I'll go with. Building would go a little bit quicker if I was closer. Green chips, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have to remove those. I'm just going to scatter some of these about in places that I don't think they'll be in the way. Right, so 2 iron. Just throw the iron in that way, and our copper is coming out here. Right. Now we just need to grab everything. So this thing's going to be making my photon combiners. And I'm not sure, again, what our production limit on this is. I'm getting 6 chips a second, is that correct? No, I'm getting 12 chips a second. Okay, how many prisms am I getting? Getting 8 prisms a second. So that's my limit. So 8 a second times 3. That's 24. Okay, I think we're limited by the belt speed, aren't we? I think we can make 12 of these. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to see whether or not I can make 12 of these. Okay, so there's the photon combiner. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just doing rough calculations in my head. I'm not entirely certain whether or not I'm correct. Now, the only problem... Yeah, I need this thing to output... I want to start these further that way. No, build mode, please. Thank you. Alright, shift copy. 1, 2. We'll just put 2 in that direction. Because I want to make sure that there's chips on the line for these early machines. Okay, we may as well power up the chip makers. There we go. So, theoretically, we should be seeing a full belt here. And we are more or less. Right, lots of grabbing. Apparently there are people working on mods which let you copy and paste sorter placement. Like, I suppose you would add all the sorters in and out of a single machine and then you'd be able to copy and paste it to others, but at the moment it's not running too stably. And the output belt. There we go, lots of photon combiners. Right, and I think that's one half of what we need. We are trying to make these guys. But now we need graphene. Right, graphene is made with graphite and sulfur. Now, there's graphite. I did massively overproduce on this stuff, didn't I? Because at the moment it's just feeding that. So I'm actually going to output this stuff. I'm going to take the graphene that we're already making for now. And we'll go with a 50-50 split. And we'll see if that is enough. If it isn't, you know, then we'll deal with it then. But for now, I think that's going to work. So let's take that out. Put in one of these. there. And then start going up. Actually, no, I think it can stay down on the ground. And I like to keep my belts on the ground unless I have a proper reason not to. So how many photon combiners are we getting? Got 12 machines, it's a 3-second process, so we're getting 4 a second. This is a 4-second process, so we can handle 4 assemblers making us solar sails. I might want to reverse the direction of this belt. Yeah, I think I do. Which is a lot less painful than it used to be. Now I can delete entire belts. Right, 4 machines. Any spare stuff I've got on me, please throw into those machines. That is solar sail production. We have four machines, and I think I did the maths along the line right. If I'm wrong, please tell me if you can be bothered. It's not that important, but yeah, so we are now going to be making 8 solar sails a second. Each of which has a lifespan of 1800 seconds. So you could probably do the maths on what the upper limit of the size of our swarm currently could be, and it probably is not that big. But what we don't have at the moment is anything which can launch the stuff. So how long have I been going? I think that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to make the things that will launch those solar sails and get some of them launched. I'll see you then. Bye bye.